Good evening, everyone. This is Karen, and I'm channel of Myth and Gears. And tonight, come back to you. It's been a long time hiatus, but we're back. We're here to do Black Sails. Yes, Black Sails and Dark Skies. It has been a while, sorry. I have got my intrepid adventurers here, otherwise known as those dang rascally pirates. And I will have them introduce themselves before we get started here. And first up will be Jeremy.
Hello everybody, my name is Jeremy. I have a YouTube channel called the Erasmas Expeditions. I do live plays of games kind of like this. And I have videos where I talk about RPGs and things of that nature. Go check it out if you like that kind of stuff. Tonight I'm going to be playing Mr. Fisk, Captain Fisk at this point. And I'm very excited to finally get back to this story, these characters, and getting to play with some of my favorite people. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad we're finally back up and running again. It has been a while, unfortunately. So we'll find out what's going to happen tonight. Next up, we have Baron.
What's up, everyone? I'm Baron. I play Charlatan Charlie. He's a guy in some scenarios that work poorly for him. Happy to be back. Glad to see everyone still alive and well. Let's do some piratey stuff.
Next, we have Jason.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason. I am the bass player for those rascally pirates. I'm looking forward to getting back into this game. It's been a long time since we were here, and I am glad to be rolling these funky looking dice again. So I'll be reprising Mr. Scheffley, Argus Scheffley. So looking forward to it. Glad to be here.
Last but not least, we have M.
Hi everyone, I'm Em, and I will be playing Nicola King, who is the former part-time surgeon first mate of the ship. And I'm excited to see what dark eldritch horrors will befall us.
Oh, you'll be fine, I'm sure. It's all good. So when we last saw our crew, they had just managed to commandeer a lightning chaser vessel and managed to acquire some much needed energy to get their ship up and running and head back towards Port Havren. Back on the ship, some of the crew were becoming more restless and more unruly, and they had brought to the captain the culprit of the that they believe was the culprit who has been taking all of the crew's items. They threw on the ground in front of the officers none other than Stitch, Nicola's father, saying that everything happened when he boarded. It had to have been him. And thinking quickly, the crew locked up poor Stitch, mostly probably to save his life more than anything, and continued to search the vessel for the missing items, which actually were found deep in the hold in a barrel, which had been brought up now into the captain's quarters, and the crew have been, so the officers have been looking through it and finding all of their missing items. And we last left it off with them spotting something metallic moving inside the barrel. Charlie, you said you wanted to...
Want to try and grab it?
All right, let us make a roll. You are going to course, I didn't bring that up. Make a brawl as you try to grab
A
it.
brawl.
Mhm.
I don't do that stuff. I have one. I have one die for this.
And the difficulty for brawl will be it's 2 purples.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna use my Touched by Fate to add 2 blue die.
Go for it.
An advantage.
Don't forget story points.
I don't even know what that does.
You get upgraded die with a story point. So you didn't you have no successes but 1 advantage?
Correct.
Okay, so you unfortunately were not able to grab it. But maybe you caught a piece of it and it broke off in your hand. This will be an advantage. You have a piece of its tail, as you can see when you take it out and look at it. It's this finely crafted, slender tail. You can tell that from the look of it. It is made of metal, and it's quite nicely articulated. And it's about, the piece that you have is about 1.5 inches long.
I'm gonna show it to everyone.
Is that something else that went missing?
It's part of the thing.
Thing.
Look, the thing. Look.
This is going to come over and look down in the barrel. You're muted.
Of course I am, because we've forgotten how to do all this stuff. So you can make a, I want to say perception, but I am.
Perception is a thing.
Is it a thing?
I'm not good at it, but it's a thing.
I've been playing too many different systems. I want to say spot hidden, but that's not going to work either. So yes, perception.
Cunning. Okay, so it's 2 green dice then. Is it 2 purple or is it?
Yes, in this case it will be 2 purple.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I have to re-educate myself on these symbols every single time we play.
You bet.
Give me just 1 second. Okay, so the advantages and threats cancel out. And then that and that do not. So that's 2 successes and 2 threats.
Okay, so you, as you're peering in, maybe you like, to help yourself, you're kind of rooting around a little bit. You do see the creature. It looks like some sort of metallic rat, the best that you can have. But as you are moving things away, and right before you see it, it bites your finger. So I need you to make me a resilience check, please. This will be 2 purple.
Let's see, resilience. Okay, 2 purple. And my brawn is 4. Resilience is 2, so 2 yellow, 2 green.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, let's see. That's a wash. Those are... My goodness gracious. Okay, that's 4 advantages and 1 failure. Let me double check that real quick. Yeah. 1 failure and 4 advantages.
Okay. I'll let you decide what you want to do with your advantages, but you immediately, you're not going to take any damage from this, but you immediately feel a little woozy. Like something, how do I
Poisoning?
say, like you have been poisoned almost.
I think that happened to me last session, or was it just a really bad wound? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
So maybe the advantage is it's not far from my chair, so I'm able to kind of find my way there instead of having to like fall down onto the floor or something.
Okay.
Damn thing bit me.
I think if Nicola's there, right? Everyone's there, kind of looking at. Okay, so Nicola, I think, after seeing and hearing Fisk say that, would immediately rush over, and can she see? Is there like a puncture wound? Like, is it bleeding a little bit?
Yeah.
She would immediately begin to try and like push more blood out of the wound to try and like bleed it out.
I'll give me a medicine check, and you can have advantage on a boost die. That's what we'll get the right words eventually. You can have a boost die on this from the 4 advantages that Captain Fisk had done, because I don't think finding a chair was used up all of them. So you have a boost die to go with your medicine check. This will be a difficulty 2, so 2 purple.
Quick question. When your rank is above your characteristics, it switches, right? So I would have 4 yellow, 1 green.
Yeah, basically take the highest number. That's how many dice you have. The lowest number is how many of those dice are yellow.
So 4 yellow, 1 green.
You have a rank of 1 or a rank?
I have a rank of 5 medicine and 4 intellect.
Okay, so then you'll have 5 dice, 4 of which will be yellow. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then, okay, 2 boost die. 2 purple. Holy crap. Okay. That's 2 success and 9 advantage.
So if Captain Fisk was feeling any strain whatsoever, you have healed a bunch of that for him. I will say with that much advantage, and you got the success as well, right?
Yeah, 2 success. Yep.
Fisk, if you were hurt at all, I don't know if you had any wounds, you can heal 1 wound with this. And Nicola, her quick actions has managed to, as far as you guys can tell, remove the poison from your system before it can actually fully take a hold.
Thank you, Nicola. I oddly feel much better.
Yeah, you see Nicola, she's wiping away the blood very quickly from your arm, but you see that she kind of folds the handkerchief quite carefully, almost to preserve whatever she has taken away, whatever poison might still be in that blood that she has in the cloth. Not at all. Glad I could help. What was that?
Some kind of metal rodent. I barely saw the thing. It's scrambling around in there, hiding amongst the things.
Listen. Charlie's gonna raise up his old potato sack. We'll just dump it in here.
Do you think that's wise? We don't really know what it can do.
I mean, if we drop it in a bag, I can slam it on the floor a couple times.
If it even is alive.
Argus, you're quiet. Speak up.
Nicola, having the metal hand, should be the one to reach in.
He has a point.
Yeah, Nicola nods at that. Though Argus also has a metal hand, but I think just not fully. But yeah, Nicola will look in. Very
wrong thing, Nicola.
My hand's not in really any good shape anyway, so.
The thing goes to bite Charlie's hand. He's like, second thought, no thanks.
Yeah, take it from me, Rat. You don't
Dude,
want to do that.
what do you have going on in here? What is this? Bro, who is your physician?
So yeah, Nicola will look to Charlie to get the bag kind of ready so she can just yeet it in there. So yeah.
So make me a brawl. I'm not going to make you look for it because you know it's in there. You know what you're looking for. So make me a brawl check.
What is the difficulty?
We'll still have it as 2 difficulty. It's small and fast.
Okay. Okay, that is 3 advantage.
Okay, this thing is fast and squirmy, and you can't nab it. But you have 3 advantages. What would you like to do with those?
Could I kind of put it into a corner, like I could find it and kind of corner it in a round barrel, but just kind of make sure it's at one side.
Perfect. Yeah, you can move the stuff around inside to actually make yourself a corner in a round barrel. That sounds great. So the next try at it will have a boost die.
And then I think Nicola would look to Argus because he does have another metal hand.
Mm-hmm. You want to help her?
Reluctantly.
So what I'll do is I'll have you roll. Well, no, what was it? Aid? Aid is a thing you can do. Assist. So you can get by helping out, you can give Nicola another boost die. So you'd have 2 boost dies in addition to whatever you had already. Difficulty still 2.
Okay. I'm not the one rolling, am I?
Is that me rolling or is that?
It doesn't matter. Either one of you can roll. Whoever wants to do it. Whoever is going to roll will have the 2 boost die.
Okay, I can roll because I did roll, and it's pretty good. So I'll say that I rolled. I got 3 success and 3 advantage.
Okay, so you managed to grab this thing, and you can describe what you want to do with those advantage. But you have, it's probably a good sized rat. like a little bit on the small size for what you would expect to see, like if it was fully fleshed, probably so that it could hide better. But it would be a good 7 to 8 inches long.
I think Nicola is going to take a moment, just as she holds this squirming thing, to just take a good look at it. And I think that's what she would want to do with the advantage, is to be able to, I don't know if there's a mechanic where I can like glean information from it, or like something like that.
Well, it is mechanical. You could make me a mechanics check.
And I think she would hold it up enough so that if anyone else wanted to kind of take a look at it as well, then that.
On that, Argus is absolutely like enraptured with this thing, like mechanical life form. This is something I definitely want to study.
I've got the picture of the two of you. Nicola's hand has got this rat, and you're both like nose to nose with the thing, staring at it.
Pardon the breath.
So make me a mechanics roll, difficulty 2.
Let's do that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care which one. Whoever wants to do it. And if you're both doing it, then you'll give it. The other person will give a boost die to the one that's.
Okay, so I've got 3 in mechanics and a 3 in intellect, so that's 3
Yeah.
yellow and a boost die. Yeah.
Yeah, and a boost.
That is one more. Dropped it. 3rd yellow die. So that's 5 successes, no advantages.
Okay, so between the two of you, you can definitely tell that this thing, obviously, it's crafted. But from the grip that you have, you're able to like kind of look at it all over the place. It squirms, but your hand, Nicola, has got it firmly in your grasp. Like your metal hand isn't going to let that thing get out. And so you can like twist and turn it and look at it in all places. And you can see that not only is it just rat-like, but it actually has it almost looks like, I want to say like little pinchers and stuff, so that it can actually grab things more than you would expect a rat to be able to do. It's like got these mechanical
Like little
appendages
pincher,
that come out. Pardon me?
like little pincher fingers.
Yeah, kind of, along with the, it looks like a rat, but it actually has more gripping than an actual rat would be able to do.
I suspect Robotnik.
Yeah, and you, with all of those successes, you see a little it's almost like an artist's signature, on a painting, like it's very tiny, whatever. You can see on one of like the underbelly of this rat, on one of the fancier gears, that there is a symbol. And to you, it looks as if it is the same symbol that gotta get his name right, Captain Copper has on his flag.
Hmm.
Do I know who Captain Copper is?
Everybody knows who Captain Copper is. He is the most infamous and scariest pirate in the skies.
Oh.
And he's been after you for the last little bit, so yeah, there's that.
Not us. Mistaken identity. What? What? I I'm fascinated. What makes this thing work?
How did it get on the ship?
Well, clearly in the barrel, Captain.
We need to figure out who brought this on board.
Did we mistakenly so with the last little foray?
With that barrel, was it our own barrel or something that we might have plundered from another ship?
Yes, exactly.
I believe that barrel probably was one that you had picked up back in Saran when you were getting supplies to make the cross back over. So it would have held something. Maybe it was held rice or something at some point, and then when it became empty, it would have got stuck down in the hold for later. So
Does this barrel have an opening large enough for this rat to get in and out of? Like it had a lid on it, right? No?
actually, I believe it did not. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember from the last
Never
session,
mind
but I
then.
believe it did not. Or if it did, it
Okay.
was loosely. Yeah.
What are the rest of the contents in this barrel?
A bunch of all the missing stuff. So it was like clothing and books and
Oh, this is where all of our stuff was. Okay.
yeah.
I follow real good.
So, we need to determine whether or not this was. But yeah, you said this is Captain Copper's mark?
It's fairly unmistakable.
Was this beast simply put here to try to sow discourse? To try to cause a possible mutiny?
Is it simply doing what rats do and collecting? I don't know. It's deep.
Maybe you should take it apart, Argus. See what you can learn.
My eyes light up. I thought you would never ask. And kind of would snatch it from from the doctor and immediately try to like head down towards my my little workshop area. I mean, unless I get resisted.
Maybe Nicola would insist on putting it in the bag that Charlie has first. And then, yeah, she'd give it to you. Or Charlie would. She'd put it in the bag, I think, first.
Okay. Skipping like a kid at Christmas down below deck. Very much looking forward to like how this thing works. I mean, is it clockwork? Is it something else? Who knows?
So while Argus goes to play, what are the rest of you guys going to do?
I think that we need to return these stolen items to who they are missing from. However, we should be very careful because Nicola, your father, was just accused of stealing these items. We have now placed him under arrest, and immediately we have found all of the stolen items. This is going to look poorly on your father.
What if we blame Cordelia?
I hate to condemn a man for a crime he didn't commit, even if he's guilty of many others. It set a bad precedent on board. Let's quietly question the crew, see if anybody has any knowledge of rats like this. If you could, Charles. In the meantime, maybe we don't tell everyone that these items have been found. Just yet. What do the two of you think?
How long have we had Captain Copper on our tail here? Because didn't we go to Saran before we went to?
So it was in Saran that Nicola was attacked by an ex-crewmate from before. You guys personally, I do not believe, have actually run into Captain Copper and his crew at all yet. You've just heard rumblings. So there was the attack on Nicola in Saran. Then you guys went to Paragon, where you found Stitch, or Stitch found you, and he told you how he had just escaped from Captain Copper after Captain Copper had broken him out of jail and tortured him for information. And he had mentioned that he feels terrible, but in the torture, he told them where Nicola could be found. And then that's when he escaped and tried to get to you first, Nicola, so that he could warn you. Then you guys went to the university, and then you took off.
Nicola, I hate to ask it, but could you also question your father about the rat?
Yeah. You see Nicola like kind of looking at the barrel, and she doesn't even look at you when she gives a slow nod. Yeah, I will. I think it is a good idea to get information, but I'm going to have to be very vigilant about where you keep this. If the crew finds out that you have this in your possession, I don't even want to think about what would happen.
We could put it back. We couldn't find it for like a week. I'm sure it would last there a few more hours.
What are your thoughts, Nicola, on trying to pin this on Philip?
It is not a bad idea. Two birds with one stone, but there is always danger when it comes to blaming someone with information that they didn't do, and they might have an alibi for, or might have counter information.
Indeed. And I would not want the crew to think that I was not able to rise above his claims without playing unfairly. If I am to captain this vessel, then I need to be able to do so with the trust of the crew.
Or be able to catch him in a lie or in something that by his own admission makes him look guilty, or in the crew's eyes make him look guilty.
Very well. Let's try to question the crew and your father. Maybe over just the next. We still have like a couple of days at like sailing, right? Before we reach Havren.
Yeah, almost a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So perhaps by dinner tomorrow evening, we can gather together to share the meal and discuss what we have learned and make a decision at that point.
All right, Captain. I can do that.
Very well. In the meantime, he's going to go about trying to basically hide this barrel somewhere in his quarters, at least to cover it.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably enough space somewhere in your cabin there that you can find an appropriate place to hide it away, make it look like another table or something, or do whatever it is to cover it and make it not obvious. So Charlie or Nicola, what are you guys doing?
Nicola is going to go to the brig and talk to her father.
So when you get down there, when you walk up to the cell that he's being held in, Pierre is there on guard. They're chatting, it seems congenial. They're not like, it's more like friends almost. So your father looks like he's being kind of well taken care of, if you will. I mean, as much as you can in a brig. Doesn't look like he's being too put upon at this point. So Pierre looks up at you as you walk in.
There's some fresh soup in the mess hall if you'd like some, Pierre. She kind of works on kind of half a smile.
And he kind of just looks at you and then looks at Stitch and just nods. He knows that you are one of the officers, and you were there when he was told to come down here and guard, so he is going to leave your father in your care. Half hour?
Nicola nods.
And then he kind of just nods and goes up the stairs. Goes up and out of the brig.
She waits probably for a very long time until she is absolutely sure that Pierre is gone and that there is nobody listening. And she comes close to the bars, and almost above a whisper, she's going to look at her father and just say, "We have found the missing items." And she wants to look at his reaction when she says that.
Okay, that didn't work. I was trying to put him in the background, but all you see is his belly, and that's just not so pleasant. So we'll just not do that. Oh, sorry about this. La la la. Back in there. Okay, so we will just share the picture instead. Yeah. Okay, so sharing. There we go. You guys can see that?
Mhm.
He's sitting on the floor. It's kind of uncomfortable, but he's looking at you, and you ask him, what was your question? Sorry.
She just says, we found the missing items, and she's looking very, very carefully for his reaction.
And he just looks at you. I had no doubt. Where did you find them?
We found them in one of the rooms. One of the crew's rooms. We found something else.
And he looks at you, he's all confused. Something else?
Are there any like expressions reading on his face, surprise, shock that she can see, or does this all seem genuine to her?
You can make a let's see if he's trying to deceive. If he's trying to deceive, then you would be using just 1 second. Vigilance. So you can make me a vigilance check.
Okay.
So there's no purples on this die. You just roll.
Okay. Sorry, for some reason, my character sheet program keeps crashing.
Oh no.
Oh, it just crashed again. Okay. Vigilance. Do we have story die?
You have story points. Yeah, you have 4 of them in your pool at the moment.
Okay, Nicola is going to use her brilliant thing where I use a story point, and I can use my intelligence, my intellect characteristics instead of whatever characteristics would have been used. In this case, it would have been willpower. So I use intellect instead.
Okay. Sounds
Okay, so with that, then I got 3 success and 3 advantage.
okay. So for what you can tell from that is he does not, what's the word? He seems to be in earnest. He does not seem to be obfuscating anything from you. His delight, I guess, if that's you want to call it, at you have found having found the stuff seems genuine. His dismay that kind of went across his face when you said it was in one of the crew members' quarters was there, and then curiosity for sure, as you say that you found something else.
Okay, all right. So after looking at that, she is going to say, we found a kind of rat, though it was mechanical in nature, completely.
He gasps slightly as you say this, and kind of he doesn't like really recoil from you, but almost a little bit from what you just said there.
And she picks up on that, yeah. And what do you know of them?
Tell me, Did it have a marking on it?
She nods.
Oh no. I fear this is no. And he almost starts to look like he's kind of panicking a little bit. Oh, Nicola, we're in grave danger. Either he's been on your ship or he has somebody on your ship.
What is wrong? Like, what does this mean? What does this rat do?
And he just shudders every time you say the word rat or mention this. And you can see that he starts to tremble a little bit. And there's quite a bit of like silence and hesitation. And then he slowly kind of reveals, like he pulls up the tattered shirt that he has, and he reveals his chest, which is covered in horrendous scars, numerous cuts and stuff, but you can also see what appears to be very badly healed bites. And we're talking hundreds all over his chest. They do this. He uses them for his own. And then he just kind of stops.
Yeah, you can see Nicola look away and shudder for a moment. Her eyes clench. She lets out this haggard sigh before she looks back to her father. Do you think there are more then on this ship?
I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. One is enough.
It was on some cargo that we had procured from another ship. But so, and she just pauses, kind of piecing together what he had said. Does that mean there might be someone on this ship?
I don't know. Either he has been on here or has had somebody on your ship, or there's somebody still here. I don't know. I don't recognize anyone. But then again, I didn't see many people.
Nicola just nods. Is there anything else you can tell me and the captain that might help us finding whoever this is or dealing with the rat? Argus has it right now.
You should dismantle it immediately. I fear that he may be too late, that it can broadcast. He just knows. He knows everything these rats see and do. Destroy it immediately.
Yeah, you can see Nicola's eyes go wide at that. Never really hearing, I would assume, never hearing something like that before. I would think that would be very odd technology, right? Like
it would be, definitely. Though in your university career, you might have maybe heard that somebody was working on something like that, but nothing has ever come of it. Yeah, it was futuristic. You know, those like the crazy scientists, you know, with all their good visions and stuff, but as far as you know, that nothing has ever been able to do that.
Okay. Yeah, her eyes just wide, and she's already kind of starting to move away to go fight Argus. And she looks back one last time, or again, and just, I'm sorry, Father. We have to do this. Keep you in here. He'll be out soon.
I understand. Destroy it, if it's not already too late.
Yeah, and she turns and she begins running to where Argus is.
Argus, you are in the process of looking at this thing. What are you doing?
I've got this thing splayed out on my workbench. I imagine I have like this pair of glasses on. It has like 3 or 4 different like types of lenses that kind of come down. I got little tinker tools that I'm very delicately trying to like wrest this thing apart without damaging it too much, because I really want to see how it works, and I'm afraid to damage it beyond the ability to find that out.
I imagine every time you kind of like poke it or do whatever, it has this like little beady red eye that glows, and it moves and tracks you. And every time you touch it, it's almost like its head kind of turns toward you.
With my metal hand, I flick it.
And it hisses.
Quiet. Yeah, I really want to know if this thing is like purely mechanical, or if there's some kind of like arcane power driving this, or ethereal even. I don't know. I'm
Make me a mechanics check.
Okay.
Yeah, and this will be 2 difficulty still.
2 difficulty. Couple of threats on that one. 3 threats, 1 success, 1 triumph. Yep. So 3 threats, 1 success, 1 triumph.
Okay, so you
Wait, hold on.
sorry, yep.
That's a threat, yeah? Or is that a
Yes,
failure?
that's a threat.
Okay, thought so. Just wanted to be sure. It's been a while. I don't want to say I got stuff that I don't have.
So you are able to take this thing apart, and you are going to find out some nice information about it. Unfortunately, in the process, you are going to pierce your finger on part of its some mechanics. Maybe it was its claw or something. It managed to stab you. So you are going to take 1 wound in the process.
Yeah, not only did it prick my finger, it got me right behind the fingernail, right at that little painful part.
Right. And it stings like you wouldn't believe. And you can describe to me what it is that you find inside that you have never seen before. Most of this rat has been made of clockwork and even a little bit of like steam, but not very much. But in its core, there is something that you have never seen before. You can describe what it is.
Okay, yeah. Very, very center in, maybe about where the stomach would be, is this little hexagon chip that has like a little azure like bead that glows. It kind of like radiates out where the light does, and as it does, it's spinning this little clockwork wheel that is working various other gears that spread out through the thing.
Cool, very cool. And I think it's about this time, and Nicola bursts into your room.
Nicola, how do you burst in?
Like, she's running, so I think she immediately just opens up the door and it just slams open. She's yelling, Argus!
What?
And she is going to walk over and she's going to, like, so you threw the mouse or the rat? Or she wants to try and grab it and crush it if she can.
Can we make like an opposed like dex roll or something similar?
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of see like in the panic of the moment, both of us are kind of like scrambling for it.
Yeah.
So you actually, in your shock, tossed it in the air? Is that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So then I would say coordination. Let's do opposed coordination rolls.
Oh boy.
Yay. I have 1 green, 1 yellow, and no days on this, right? It's just opposed?
Yeah, just opposed. So it's going to be the person who gets the most successes. If you have the same amount of successes, then the one who has most advantage.
Just a second, okay? Okay, I'll be in.
Okay, I got 2 success, 1 advantage.
I got the same thing, actually. 2 success and 1 chevron advantage.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So you both grab it and you both have a hand on it at this moment.
Can they both be our like metal hands? That would be
Yes.
so cool. So Nicola looks to you, Argus, and just and like hissing, like in just the barely above a whisper, we have to destroy this thing.
But what are you to figure out what's going on? Are you mad?
Can hear us, and she's like mouthing it.
And I'll let it go.
And yeah, Nicola's going to crush it if she takes it. If Argus, lets go, she would crush it.
I stare absolutely dejected at these pieces.
Yeah, how much damage do you do with your fist?
All the damage. I do +1 damage.
And what's your brawn?
My brawn is 4.
So you have a base of 5 plus whatever, and you're just crunching it, right?
Just, yeah.
I'm gonna have you make a roll because this is metal. So make a roll, make a brawl check. Difficulty is just 1 because it's can't fight back. So this is just whether or not it can handle any of the damage that you were doing.
Okay. So I got 2 success, 3 advantage, and 1 triumph. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, so that and you're using the dice a dice generator, right?
Yeah, dice
Yeah.
roller.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. So you would do 6 damage. How many advantage?
3.
What's your crit on your hand?
I have a crit of 4 on
Okay.
my hand. Yeah.
Okay, but the triumph could also give you a crit if you wanted to put a crit on it.
Yep. She would.
Okay, so you can roll your dice. We'll go against that table on the crit chart. I would say because of what it is and what you're doing, we will add 30% to your roll.
So what am I rolling? Sorry.
Sorry, a D100.
Okay. I got 48.
And we're going to add 30, so that's 78. You immediately can get another attack. So you do more damage on it. That is enough to make it succumb. So it's like you crunch it and you go even harder, and this thing, its body is pretty much mangled, and whatever that the thing was inside of it has shattered.
And Nicola just looks up to Argus and kind of confident that this thing now is. My father was telling me the awful things that these things can do and what they tell Captain Copper.
It's just such a pity. Do I see any salvageable part? Maybe a little hex thing. Maybe the eye.
Make me a perception, 3 difficulty.
Perceptionus. Cunning. I have no perception. 3 difficulty. Bad times are coming. Yeah, that's a failure and 2 threats.
Yeah, so no, there is nothing that you can Nicola has obliterated this thing. In fact, I need you to make me a resilience check as you are trying to piece through the things. This will be just a difficulty of 2.
Ouch. So at the end of it, I got 1 success, 1 advantage, 2 threats, and 1 failure. So 1 threat overall.
So you manage to prick your finger again on something and immediately feel woozy.
You know, it's the same fucking spot too. Always happens. I feel woozy.
Yeah, you feel woozy like you're going to lose consciousness. It's almost immediate, the effect.
So yeah, as I'm like trying to piece through it, I'm like,
Yeah, Nicola will rush over right away and try and administer the same thing that she had with Fisk.
So go for it. Make that medicine check. This, I don't know if I gave you a boost last time, but you definitely get a boost this time because you have just dealt with it before. So.
What's the 2 difficulty?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, 3 success, 2 advantage, and then 1 triumph.
Oh wow. Okay. So again, you managed your quick actions managed to remove the poison before it actually gets hold. So Argus, you do not fall unconscious, and in fact, you feel a little bit better, and you can heal a wound. Charlie, sorry.
Kind of shake it off. It's like, sure, it's something to do with the mechanic. I don't. Thank you. Thank you. The wound look like.
Of course, maybe we should go have a talk with the captain.
Probably. And I still have the bag, so kind of just scoop the pieces into the bag. Shall we? And off we go to see the captain.
So while you guys are on your route to the captain, Charlie, you have left the captain's quarters to talk to the crew, I guess is what you were... Was what you were planning on doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you approaching first? Or what are you doing?
I don't think I'm approaching anyone in particular. I'm just kind of moving among the men, and I don't know if I have women as well on the crew. It seems they've seen rats. No, boys, can't be having rats aboard the ship. Have you seen any? I heard someone said they seen a rat. Where's that person at? Just kind of trying to communicate with the din of the crowd.
Okay, make me either a leadership or charm roll.
I'm good at those. All right. What's the difficulty?
2.
Five successes, 1 threat.
Five successes. Wow. Okay. So you hear all the the normal talkings of like what you would normally think to hear about of rats. You start to ask about the rats, and the crew immediately just starts to regale you with all the things that they've done, like over the past few months, I guess, right? That you've been sailing about the rats. Every time they stop into port, there's a few more, and they're dispatched. And sometimes you hear of the games that they play in how they dispatch these things. I mean, they get bored on the ship, right? So all sorts of things. What you don't really hear at all is anything other than talk of regular rats that would be on a ship. There is no mention at all of anything mechanical in nature that any of the crew have seen.
As I make my way through the ship like the galley area or wherever most of the crew is right now, I would also try to listen to see if there's any more talk of dissent.
Okay. Make another roll.
Sure.
This one will be 3 difficulty.
Yeah, still charm or leadership?
Yeah, charm or leadership, whichever one you would prefer. And which one did you pick? Just let me know that one too.
Charm. They
Charm,
both
okay.
had charm.
Okay.
Everything washes except one success.
Okay, so you don't seem to have as much success with finding out this descent. Most of the people that are talking to you, they seem quite willing to talk to you about the rats and stuff, and they all seem happy. You get along with them. And it's not until maybe, I don't know, good time into it when you overhear again this Philip Cordelia and his cronies talking in hushed tones, and you hear what may be the word attack. You're not quite sure, but you think you heard that. But they immediately, upon seeing you, kind of stop talking.
I'm going to kind of mingle my way through the crowd, completing my original task here, and maybe carry on with some of my usual duties. Not to let those below me free to do what they want for the day. So.
So Argus and Nicola, you are going to see the captain. How do you arrive at his chambers?
I mean, Frank would, first.
Yeah, I think Nicola would knock at the door.
Come in.
Captain.
Yes. He's kind of putting that carved skull kind of back into a drawer on his desk.
We have some interesting findings, and she lets Argus in and closes the door behind her.
Already?
It's careful.
Excellent. So...
Sorry, my cat is just...
So, you've already found something of note. That was very fast. Good work, Argus.
I can claim very, very little. For I was interrupted with much more dire news. I did not quite learn as much as I would have liked.
Please explain.
Yes, Doctor. Please explain.
I went to visit my father, and I'm convinced that he had no knowledge of the rat, where it came from, or its origin. And he, however, he did know the rat, what it was and what it meant and what Captain Copper used it for.
So this is not an unusual device of Captain Copper's.
No, not at all. And you can see Nicola's eyes, like they fill with pain at the recollection of seeing all the wounds on her father's body, and there's another thing that is unbelievable, but with our circumstances and what we have seen, I'm not putting anything out of the picture. According to my father, these rats, they send information to Captain Copper.
With magic of some kind?
I am not sure, but apparently he sees what they do.
You believe that your father is of sound mind?
There is a bit of doubt in her eyes and in her face as she kind of just shrugs a little bit, but he has not said anything or led us to believe anything that wasn't true. And what we've seen in recently, is this so far out of the ordinary from giant rifts of flying beings in the sky?
No, admittedly not, though it is yet another thing that my mind has difficulty grasping.
I share your hesitation. In the university, there was nothing like this. Thoughts, maybe over coffee, ideas scribbled on napkins, but nothing like this. But
I agree. Even in my wildest fantasies, I have yet to stumble across anything that even justifies the things that we've seen.
so, with that taken into account and with everything, and I made the decision to destroy the rat.
It's probably for the best, truth be told. We seem to have uncovered its purpose all the same. It's very troubling to think that Captain Copper could know of our location, possibly even our destination.
There is one other thing. My
There's
father
more.
said that, my father said that whatever this rat was, either Captain Copper himself, somebody, or someone else planted that rat on the ship. They may still be on here.
I see. Well, maybe Charles will have some further information that can shed light on this situation. I don't know how we would go about ferreting out someone who would have planted such a device. Perhaps, August, could you devise some form of test and ask around the crew for anyone who may have an aptitude for this kind of machinery?
I would stand and pace it as I'm thinking. I have been in need of someone capable in the engine room, perhaps a promotional exam.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Tempt someone with an increase in their shares, for if they're able to gain this position underneath you, if they're able to show an aptitude for working these kinds of mechanics, maybe it will narrow down our suspects.
You know, Captain, in the darkest hour of my doubt of your capabilities, every now and then you pull it just back.
I thank you. I think August.
I think Nicola kind of pauses and she kind of looks up and she's like, you can see her kind of looking at the walls now. Just looks around. I don't mean to be the paranoid one, but if there is one, there may be others. I mean, who knows what kind of information Captain Copper Alberty has.
He kind of like follows her gaze around the corridors a bit. Yes, though I don't think we should resort to ripping the paneling down just yet. Maybe I would say that we could bait these things if they were normal rats, but this one seemed only to care for gathering things that would have no apparent worth to a rat, I wouldn't think.
Only we had some form of countermeasure.
Maybe we should just keep our eyes peeled, see if we see any sign of these things. I'd rather there not be any rats on board the ship at all, truth be told.
No rats on a pirate ship.
It is a desire, nothing more, Margus. Well, that's not good news, but it is good information. So, good work for both of you. Thank you.
So, Charlie, while you are out and about doing your regular duties that you would normally do, trying to keep face, you hear a commotion down on the deck below you. I'd say at this point, you're probably maybe up in the rigging somewhere, just checking something. And you see a group of men kind of talking loudly, strutting strongly, heading towards the captain's door.
I'm gonna try and rapidly put myself in between the two.
How are you going to try to do this?
I'm gonna loose one of the ropes holding part of the sail. Use that to swing down.
Sweet. Okay, this will be a coordination check. You're pretty good at the ropes and stuff, so this will be a difficulty 2.
One success, 2 advantage.
Okay, so you managed to put yourself exactly where you want to be, and you can describe to me what you want to do with that advantage.
What can I do with 2 advantage?
You can. Let's see. Some examples are. Well, I guess you kind of if you're in combat, you can perform a free maneuver. You can add boost die to a check, or a setback die to somebody else's check.
I'm gonna use it as a setback die on whoever's leading the group.
Okay.
I
In
just
fact,
toss him a card.
you can see that it is Philip himself. So he has
Oh.
a setback die. And as soon as you land in front of him, he's like, "Get out of our way. We're talking to the captain."
Well, I never said you couldn't, mate.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, well, I never said you couldn't.
Then move aside.
Well, what are you going to talk to him about?
None of your business. Stand aside. And it looks like he's reaching for his saber.
Charlie's going to like brandish one of his like the handles of his pistol by like moving his shirt out of the way.
Yeah, we're gonna stand off. He does the same thing on the other side. His hand's on his gun.
Now, Philip, I don't want anything bad to happen here today. It's a good day. We have fuel. We're on our way.
And stand aside.
I'm going to let you go. But I better not hear about any funny business.
The only people laughing will be us. And he goes to brush past you. A shoulder past you, right?
That's fine.
So as Charlie...
Oh, actually, I lied.
Okay,
I lied.
yeah.
Oh, can I use an ability?
Okay.
Fear the shadows. Make a hard deception check and force the enemy group to flee.
Oh, wow. Yeah, go for it. Hard deception check.
Okay.
So hard, that's 3 purple.
Yep. Am I good at lying? Yes. All right. So if I have a 4 in cunning and a 2 in deception, that's 2 yellow, 2 green.
Yeah.
And 3 purple. Wow. I'm rolling really well today. 3 advantage, 2 success.
Oh, okay. So how does this look to them? Like, what do you do that makes them fear you?
I pull off the glove that conceals my like mottled hand, and I like put it on his shoulder as he walks past. Like, I really would hate to hear anything go wrong for you, mate.
And I think he looks...
Plus, I look pretty cool now because I have a new mask.
Yeah, you do. And maybe even so, like, it's coming later at night, so that night vision has got something going with your eyes, so they, I don't know, do some sort of strange...
They just look cool.
Yeah. And he looks at your face and he looks down at the hand that you've put on his shoulder, which is now looking pretty darn black. Like it's creeping up there even further. And he looks back at your face and down at your hand.
I think Charlie would start to laugh.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And he whitens and he's like, never mind, we'll come back tomorrow. And I think he turns and leaves with the group. Like it says.
I'm going to call out some like remedial task for them to do. Tie down that rope that I just loosed to swing down here to tell you what to do.
And almost without, well, maybe with slight hesitation, not because they're trying to disobey, but more is this kind of a trap thing? And then they go to do exactly what you said.
God damn it, if that ain't the most Navy thing that's been done this whole campaign.
That's perfect. All right. So, what does Charlie do now?
I turn to go inside and reconvene with the other officers.
Yeah, and I think the rest of you might have heard a little bit of the scuffle, loud noises outside the door, loud voices. You can't really hear what was said, but then shortly thereafter, Charlie walks in.
Charles, is everything all right?
Yeah, good.
Just sounded like a loud noise. Well,
That was Philip dropping his balls on the deck.
I see. It sounds like he may be a problem that must be dealt with sooner rather than later.
He's upset.
When is he not upset? Come in, please. Close the door. We've learned some disturbing news. The rat that was found was somehow using some kind of magic or technology. Not entirely sure, but it was being used to spy on us by Captain Copper.
For what purpose? What is his intent?
I'm sure no good.
Well, we're not much better. We're pirates.
True. We should expect that he knows our current location and possibly our route up until this point, maybe even our destination in Port Havern. I fear that the trouble we have been experiencing here on board the Triton's Folly may extend to beyond our own decks very soon. Have you learned anything about the crew, the intention, anyone who may have knowledge of this kind of a device?
I've learned every single way to kill a rat, but none of them like this.
I will have to file away that information for later. I'm sure it will be useful at some point. Well, we've perhaps designed a ruse that may flush out the rat behind the rat. August is going to try to encourage someone who may have the kind of skill set, may have built this rat or knew how to operate it, under the disguise of looking for someone to help him in the engine room. So we should set up some sort of open call to anyone on board who might think that they're right for this job. You can't do this job, Cat. I'm sure you're excellent at catching rats, but you're no pirate.
It's like, pick me, pick me.
You're no pirate. You're by far the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
So we're trying to catch this individual with the allure of an advancement in position.
Yes, I believe that will potentially, at least, show us who has the capability of maybe operating whatever this thing was.
And it is about at that moment when all of a sudden your ship rocks as if it has just been struck by something. And immediately you can hear chaos out on the deck, outside your the cabin there, as men are yelling and screaming and rushing about.
I think immediately Fisk grabs his sword belt and his blunderbuss and kind of his effects and makes his way out onto the deck to see what's going on without even saying anything to the officers around him.
Yeah, and when you get out there, it is darker than you would think it should be. The sun was still up. However, it seems that there is quite the shade being cast upon the deck. And you look to the sun, and what you see instead. Oh, I could do this one. Just give me a second. I'll just keep talking. And you see there are holes. There's like a big hole in the deck as something had plowed through it from afar. And there are men screaming, not screaming per se, but running around, getting ready. Basically getting into a defensive mode. So they're starting to man their stations. And as you look up and you see still quite a ways away from you, further than your guns can go, but there is a ship, a massive ship, sailing off to your port. And you can see, I guess maybe some kind of remnants of smoke as you realize that they had shot upon you. And each of you, as soon as you see this, would know exactly whose ship this is. This is Captain Copper's ship, aptly named the Skeleton. And at this point, we will roll initiative. So you are not expecting this, so that would be, I believe it's vigilance. Boy, we have not played this for a while. Initiative. Yes, so it'd be a vigilance. Each of you roll vigilance.
Vigilance.
Okay, so I think I've got 4 of you. Success, 1 success, 1 advantage, 1 success, 2 advantage. Okay. Because they're in a ship and they're farther away, we'll just go through your guys' turns. That was their attack. You'll each get an action. Then they'll have their attack again. So we'll continue that until the situation changes. So on your side, who would like to go first, and what are you doing?
I believe Argus is down below deck, and it's going to take him a second to react to anything. So I don't think I should go first.
Charlie is going to kind of briefly examine the damage done by the attack. Try to either fix anything that's detrimental or kind of clear away some of the wreckage so it's not a hazard. Karen, if you're speaking, you're muted.
Sorry, thank you. So you're going to try to assess the damage and potentially do repairs?
If they're needed, I don't really know much carpentry, but I can certainly make it so it's not hazardous for those around it, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So you probably see that there is definitely a spot on the deck that's been punched a hole through. So you can, with the aid of some of the crew, either put like something over it, like a crate box over it, or you just kind of erect barriers around it so that nobody is going to accidentally fall into that particular spot at this point. So I'll let you do that. That will be a good thing. So that is what you are doing and making happen. Nicola or Captain?
Hmm. I'm not. I think Nicola would look at the captain and say, "Are we running from this thing, or are we fighting it?"
I think she's going to outgun us, and she certainly outcruise us. But she's large, and hopefully that means that she's slow. What do you think?
I said we drop any unnecessary weight, and we give her a run for everything she's got.
Very well. Good word to Argus to put everything that we need into the engines to get us out of here quickly. And then maybe speak to your father again. He's been on board the ship. Maybe he knows some kind of weakness.
Okay.
In the meantime, he's going to call out to Ephriam to powder the guns and to run them out, just to get them ready.
Yeah, Nicola's off. She's going to go and tell Argus to start and get whatever we need to get away. Maybe telling some of the other crewmen as she passes by them to maybe drop over the side anything that is unnecessary weight to make us as light as possible and as maneuverable as possible, and then go down to the brig.
We're at open sky and sea, aren't we? There's nothing around us.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So Captain Fisk, you called for Ephriam. He does not answer.
He's going to kind of curse under his breath and then kind of call out his name louder, kind of at the entrance down into the gun deck, and kind of listen
You call down to the gun deck, like you're and listening down there. You actually hear nothing, which is odd.
Yeah, he's gonna descend the stairs, kind of in a huff.
Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3. As you descend the stairs, you guys get hit again by a volley more of cannonballs as they rip through your ship. The Triton's folly is hurt. Still saleable, but won't last too long under this kind of barrage. And as you go down into the gun deck below, the sight that meets your eyes is horrifying. The gunners that were down here, or should be down here, are lying on the floor in pools of blood.
There's nobody still standing down here at all.
There is no movement that you can tell.
Yeah.
And from the bodies, because I'm sure you would be glancing, none of those that are fallen are Ephriam. Charlie, I need you to make me a perception roll, please.
Is there a difficulty?
Yeah, difficulty of 2. It would have been more, except that this big ass ship is blocking the sun. So,
But this big ass ship. 2 success, 1 advantage.
you see a life craft. At this point, fairly close to the other ship. And there's from what you can, what did you get? 2 success and 1 advantage?
Correct.
Yeah. So you can see a solitary figure on the deck. And maybe even from this distance, you can see that they turn and give you the biggest pirate salute ever and do a bow before turning and going towards the other ship. Nicola, you have arrived down in the down where Argus is. I'm not sure if Argus was in the engine room or not, but
I was actually heading below deck when we got hit, so I may have took a little tumble. So I'm okay, but I got a little trickle of blood coming down from my scalp.
yeah. So Nicola, you arrive down where Argus is. He's just getting back up off the floor after that last barrage hit and knocked him down. What do you do?
Yeah, Nicola runs over to help him up and just says, I guess we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. I need you to give this ship all that she's got. It's Captain Copper.
And yeah, I make no hesitation. I mean, I reach up and see the blood, but run directly up to the folks, not the folks, the wheel.
Okay, so I'm assuming getting the Triton's Folly up and well, it was already running, but pedal to the metal, if as you will, and which direction?
What is the direction that would be most advantageous to get away from? Like, okay, with us as perspective, where is this ship?
A port. off in the distance on port. Too far for your guns, obviously not too far for theirs, but they're slightly behind you as well. So you could
And-
go, I guess, straight forward, gunning it.
Are we both like nautical on the surface nautically, or are we airborne?
You're airborne, and it is slightly above you, the other one. So not only do they have like distance advantage, but they're also higher than you.
Awesome. So yeah, hard to starboard.
Okay.
I'm yelling through my copper tubing. God damn it, Marcellus, get us moving.
Charlie and Captain Fisk. Charlie, what are you doing? You've seen the thing, the boat.
I'm gonna call down to whoever's on the deck. I found the rat. He's helped ship. And I'm sure I'm still like immediate vicinity. I'm gonna do what I can to shove whatever extra material I can overboard to give us some gains.
Captain Fisk.
Discovering that the gun crew has been slaughtered, he's going to kind of just call out loudly for Nicola. I need you on the gun deck immediately. August, get us out of here. He's going to kind of like mount the steps back up to the top deck.
I'm screaming a bunch of engineering jarble down the tubing. Wait a minute. Didn't we like concoct a way to like move faster a couple of sessions ago?
That was temporary. You did cobble a way to use less of your fuel, like so that you could move. So that would probably still be up and running because you haven't really done much. So there's a potential that you could probably use the same amount of fuel as you would normally, go faster, but potentially burn out your ship. But you don't know how long you could do it, but maybe it's enough to get you away.
Well, I feel like a gambler tonight. I mean, we're not going to survive if they catch us either way.
No.
So, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay. So Captain Fisk, all of a sudden you feel the ship kind of maybe shudder as whatever Argus does to kick this in gear, it like shudders the ship, the whole ship shakes, and then you can feel the speed. It is perceptible. And the ship is not meant really to fly this fast, and so there's a shake and a shudder in the entire ship, but it seems to be working. Nicola, what are you doing?
So I think Nicola was on her way to the brig, but then would she hear Captain Fisk yelling for her to get back to the gun deck?
Yeah, I would think so, because it would be coming through the tubing as well into where Argus is. So you'd be hearing Argus yelling all this stuff, but then you'd hear the captain say that.
Yeah, she would stop midway, hearing maybe kind of she would stop midway and turn around and head towards the gun deck.
Captain, were you staying in the gun deck and waiting for her, or you were going back up?
So, like, I'm at the top of the steps that lead down into the gun deck from the main deck.
Okay. So that's probably where you would meet Nicola.
Yeah, he'll kind of like grab a hold of her shoulder and kind of like pull her close so that he doesn't have to say this very loudly. There's been an incident in the gun deck. I need you to figure out what's going on and try to clean it up discreetly while I concentrate on trying to get us away from that thing.
Nicola just looks at you, brows furrowed. Where's Delagny?
I don't see him down there, but I don't know if he's simply missing or I don't know.
Aye, Captain. And she's good to, go.
Again, your ship is struck from another barrage. A little bit less this time, but it still punches a bunch of holes in the back. You hear men scream. Some fall overboard to their deaths. But your ship is picking up speed, and you are slightly pulling away from them, at least for now. And then, at this moment, the sky in front of you opens. And unlike... You have seen this before, but usually in the distance. This happens to be right in front of you, and you barely miss as the ship that you used to know as the Bite of Justice barely misses you. As it flies into your world from its, intent on, with the speed it's going, to head towards the skeleton. But unfortunately for you, you guys were so close, your ship was so close to this rift that opened up, that when it closes, you are sucked into it. And as the darkness comes over you, and before you fade and lose consciousness, the last thing you hear is Charlie's blood-curdling scream. And that's where we're going to end.
Yay! What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay. This is fine. We just went into this eldritch Feywild. No big deal. I'm sure everything's great.
We're going to be fine. What could go wrong?
I wasn't doing good in normal reality.
Now you've switched. The rest of you is like infected in black and just the hand's good.
Nicola, I need more built. Dr. Doom my ass.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming along. That
Thank
is the end of season 1.
Wow. Oh, there's a season 2?
Doesn't look like it.
Just a description of how
Charlie,
we die.
anyway.
That's all it is.
It's like an
Just-
hour special.
Yeah. 2 hours of just gory dismemberment.
Karen,
Oh,
did each
man.
person really need 30 minutes? You wrote 30 minutes for each person.
I did, yeah. There was a lot they had to, a lot of anger there built up.
I was disemboweled twice.
I was all right with it the first time, but then they did it again. And I was like, all right, well, I think that's where I draw the line.
Whoa, wait. You've already done this to
Hold on.
me.
You're not
Would you
doing this to
please-
me again.
Reconsider your actions.
I mean, you could be a little more creative. Do something else. You don't have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting bored with this.
God, you
Yeah.
guys are just
Aaron's been
not
reading
nice
Lovecraft.
people.
All right.
Oh my gosh!
Not
Wow,
the vivisection again.
that was intense. That was really intense.
Good. And I'm gonna say thank you to everyone for watching, and
Yes.
that wraps up Black Sails and Dark Skies. Or does it? We don't know. We'll see.
Or does it?
Thank you guys. I am going to stop with the live now if I can remember how to do this. It's been so long. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching.